Yes, I did. It's not working. It is working now for some reason. Magic. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, hmm. Dun, dun, dun. Bum, 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 bum. Yes. What am I doing today? I might just do this today. Uh, just going back and forth between feeling like shit and not feeling like shit. Very nice. Very cool. Amazing. Amazing. Ooh. What is this actually? Is this my baseline? Like got overwritten in some areas. Very cool. Dum, 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 dum. What? We are trying to sort. I'm trying to sort out this style. So, this style is interesting. It requires a little bit more development. There also needs to be some rules for the development, I think, because there is a tendency to keep doing the same thing. So use the same piece over and over, and then do development on that. So you draw the same thing over and over and over, which is, I suppose, more logical for comparison. I want to say comparison and comparing at the same time. I say comparison, but if we do that, it's doo-doo because you never really move forwards, and it takes time to decide. Anyways, I wonder. It might have to go back and forth or something. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel kind of sick again. I'm not sure what. I'm compulsively aligning things. Okay, stop that. Where am I? Right. Texture. Both of these are... So, there's two main things here. After everything is sort of sorted out, like the rendering part, for the texture part, I split this into different sections, right? So line character, we want some kind of line character. Currently, this one is one option, right? We have some line weights, but it's a very solid line. That's one option. And we want the lines to have presence. That much we know. So presence, we can see it. Character has line weight, right? So at least we sort out this first part. Colors overall is meant to be more vibrant and stuff. There is a bit of a caveat to this, being that, well, there's a lot of caveats to this. I think the first one is that because it is flat colored, And because the character is mostly all warm tones, it is going to feel a little bit weird. It's going to feel a little bit skewed because it's just the nature of it. Unless we go a little bit more extreme with the shadow colors and start putting blues in. If not, this is how it's going to feel. That's the first thing. So it will never fully check out, is what I'm trying to say. The second thing will be... we want to use... I guess line art? Hang on, let me see. So the two bottom ones are talking more about... These two sections are talking more about the... when we're setting up specific moods, in which case this is not currently relevant, so this is not relevant right now. We're not skewing all the colors necessarily to somewhere. They feel like they're all kind of a little bit to the warm side just because we don't have the anything that's blue in here. But that's because that's how it is, so that's fine. Psychedelics, we're not quite going for it just yet. I'm trying a little bit with the line art. Because line art is like the final way of bringing some sort of vibrance back in. If you're not doing like a lot of weird stuff. I could consider maybe going a little bit stronger with the purples or something. That would kind of offset a little bit because we have some blues, right? That's one way. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this just yet. Definitely not more reds, I don't think. But yeah, anyways, color overall, that's the section here. And then into render. Render is the part that I'm trying to sort out now. Lines is part of the render. But let's say we ignore lines for a second. Render is split into two sections. There is the texture and the shadow. Shadow is kind of interesting because it is kind of joined hand in hand with the color part. Overall color balance is dependent on if there's shadow or not. But yeah, shadow, I think the best way to do it after evaluating all of these is that you're at most doing some kind of very non-physically consistent binary setup where we're not necessarily that particular with if the shadows are in necessarily a correct spot. It's mostly just there to create visual interest. Yeah, but with this binary setup, the main difference with the this other one that it says only to show layers is it is slightly more demanding. You kind of have to put in more shapes and this and that. Also, you want to make it visible. This other one is less about whether if the shadow is being visible or not. It's more just having something, just a little bit of something, or some variation. You barely even see some of the shadows in here. Or actually, this section doesn't have it. That's why you don't see it. But over here, you get these very tiny, tiny pieces of color in here. It is there, right? But it's not very consistent. Like you don't see shadows here on the face, even though there's shadow from the cap. Even though there's shadow here on the neck part. Very, very tiny amount. This is still kind of strong. The shadow is one thing. I think we just do like the layer separation, and that's kind of about it for now. We don't have any clothings to speak of and this and that, so that's one thing. This is the texture. So there's two textures here that we have to sort out. The first texture is from the fur itself, which over here you can see different representations of it. There are these hatchings that go across the grain, if you will, and then there are the repeated lines that go in the direction of the shape itself. Right? So there's two types of lines here for denoting fur. This is the only positive examples I found that I wanted. The other one over here is slightly a little bit less refined. I think it's similar ideas, but because the lines are kind of thick, it feels not like fur. It's just like big strands of like spaghetti, almost a little bit. It doesn't feel as nice. I'm not 100% sure like why. just yet. It might be because of the width of the lines, it might be the balance that they put in. But I'm not quite sure yet. That's the counterexample. And then after that, we use the textures. Okay, hang on. Ignore that for a bit. So it's that fur part, and then it's also the seams part with the fabric itself. Because she's not just furry, she's meant to be like a plushie. So we need some kind of denotation for the seams themselves. So therein lies the problem, I think, because the seams representation and the fur representation right now is very similar. In that they are just kind of crossing lines. One is crossing by sort of erasing the original line art. One is crossing by adding more lines. Either way, it gets very noisy very quick. Different ways of... let me see. I think one way would be to make one smaller than the other. Currently, the sizes are about the same. It's still kind of similar-ish in size, so it is a little bit harder to separate them visually. If one is bigger than the other, then it would be slightly easier, I think. Or, like, one of them has to change in their representation. Like, I wonder... because, like, if I remove, like, the horizontal cuts into this, it just feels like a random line there. And that is not as clear, right? The idea is not as clear. I could maybe make it thinner and more consistent. I think that might be another way to make it more visually distinct. Yeah, seams are a lot more controlled, right? Oh yeah, it's like, I suppose. Let's see here. So, does that mean that I should use maybe thinner and smaller lines, and then we do like more controlled? I don't know. I think kind of adds to just like a lot of noise and not. And then also that's the problem with the scars. But those I'm gonna ignore for now because we might not even have put it in. Yeah, if it's too even, it's also too boring. I mean, curve forms do have to have something that shows that it's curved. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of ugly. Because if you're drawing it at this fine level, then you should be even closer. Like, even less pronounced, I suppose, but not sure. It really shouldn't be visible at this scale, though, isn't it? This has more personality for sure. This is just less impactful, so that this kind of stands out, this visually distinct. Or we can keep this one and then try to permute this instead. The either or situation for sure. What is this? Right, yeah. So the use of textures was the one that I didn't address here. Although this texture that he was talking about is primarily rendering for like sort of colors and blocks of color, not necessarily to represent fur, but I suppose it is an option. It's just about the general use of texture. It's not really specifying anything in particular, I guess. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, this is kind of... So there is that. What is this again? Oh, this is just don't do too many complex shadows because we don't have time for it. And also there isn't anything to render in this case. This is the other lines. This is counterexample for lines because this is a little bit too rough. There isn't anything here that we can use, I don't think. This one with the doubling of the lines as well. They're just like endings, they're not necessarily very tidy. It just makes things very noisy. The very clean lines is this is counterexample for very clean lines. Just too time consuming, otherwise it's fine too. Oh yeah, yeah, that's kind of how they do it with that. If we don't have the seams and just have this. Okay, let me consider this. I'm gonna start putting in examples and then I'm gonna start permuting this way. Along with the notes. This is really more what the stream title is supposed to suggest. Actual development where we come in and think about it and set things up. More so than usual, I think. We are actually trying to permute it. But let's see. So overlapping representation and slash too noisy, I think. Well, noisy is probably fine actually, because hang on, let me see. I would consider this noisy. It is a fact. Hello, George. I'm just trying to talk to myself about how to sort out this this style, right? Because I'm trying to force this style, well, quote unquote force. We're trying to develop this style very hands-on, very actively, and it's split into all these different sections of lines and colors and render. So I think each time round, when we actually bring it to color, I would like to sort of try a little bit of like different ideas that I've collected in this board. And then over time, over a few pieces, maybe hopefully I can figure out what is like a very comfortable way to draw and also have all the interesting things that I want to have, right? Currently, I'm sort of dealing with... So for lines, I briefly talked about this just now, but like lines is just... You can see the lines and the lines have personality. We have some line weights here. We can see the lines very clearly. That's good enough. That's fine. Colors-wise, as long as it's like sort of cutesy vibe, like colorful colors, that's fine. As long as we keep in mind that it's going to look a little bit skewed to the warm colors because she doesn't have any other colors, that is fine. We could just give her like a big blue bow or something to offset it, but we have to find out where to put it. But regardless, it's about rendering, right? So rendering, I've decided like for the color, for the shadows, we don't take it too seriously, right? I'm not gonna put it everywhere. We're only primarily using it to show layers. That's about it. But there is a problem representing sort of texture, right? And there are two textures. One of them is the seams that she's gonna have because she is meant to be a plushie. The other one is that she is kind of fuzzy, right? But not the usual kind of fuzzy. Like you see how I draw her hair usually is kind of messy, like crazy messy. But for here, everything is a piece of fabric, so you don't really get that sort of craziness in the messiness, right? The fabric's like fur length is fixed, so that's why all of these representations here are all kind of fixed. I'm just not doing it everywhere because it's gonna make it too even, and therefore it's not gonna look nice. Even right now, it's kind of even. You have 4 strokes here, 4 strokes here. But regardless, that's one thing, and then the seams as well. But the problem now is that they both kind of do the same thing. They're both kind of going across lines, as you can see. Of course, they're going across in different ways. Right? One is by bleeding into that one. The other one is by drawing over it, like it's like a bigger line. But it is a problem. I want to make them a little bit more visually distinct. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly I can do about it. Right? We can pick one. We can keep one constant and change the other one. So I'm just trying to set that up here. Right, so we have option 1. So option 1, keep for representation, iterate themes. And then option 2 is vice versa. Hello, Latin. And yeah, we can just try different things, I suppose. That's what style development is about, I suppose. So the use of texture is interesting, I think. It's harder to control though, because the textures does mean that we are fully dependent on the pen itself. But it also means that we have like weird stuff like this. But this is really broken up though. This is very broken up. Maybe the other side is usable. Just like that. Yeah, the control is going to be a pain, yes. But it is, yeah, it's too even as well. Like if it were smaller like this, like fuzzy, but it's kind of hard to see at the greater scale. It's kind of lost anyways. Yeah, I don't know about this. I wonder, like, okay, what about the ones that Chinese like to use, like shit like this? This is actually something even like this is probably better used for like seams, just because it's even. I think it's a lot more consistent. Like seams would be a lot more consistent than the actual fur on it, because the fur at least get to move. The seams do not get to move. But I don't know. It's not really clicking with me. It's like, I mean, sometimes you do have to kind of commit to putting enough of it down to really kind of see it, but I don't really know what I'm trying to use this for right now. You can also kind of erase it like this. It's very hard to control though. This is very hard to control. It's the tides. This texture here. It's lagging, it's computing. Oh my god. No, seems kind of bad. What about lines in the same direction? What for? I don't really like this. It's uncontrolled. It feels very uncontrolled. Nothing here that kind of makes sense either. If nothing makes sense, I can just ignore this problem. Because like the requirements is interesting for this whole thing. The art itself as well as the process, the whole requirement is to not spend too much time on it. We want a style that doesn't take too much time. We also don't want to spend too much time developing it. So that it can be used and then I can just like get shit out this way. Oh wait, what is this? Okay, this is a little bit too broken up too, I think. Yeah, it's like nothing to use it on, you know, like because we don't have any shadow renders. Any rendering for shadows and this and that. Like, what is it gonna be used for? Come on. barely even see it. If anything, this might actually be better here. Oh, yeah. Let me blanket a noise over as well, just in case. I think we will probably want some noise. Might be better to have something more specific. I don't know if I have anything like that. Oh yeah, I have I have like 10,000 brushes. That's like those vertical lines too, but it's like woven grain brio paper textures. What mean? Yeah, okay, this is a pain in the butt. What? Rasterize? Doesn't do anything. Like these guys, oh my god, they always do this. I don't know how to make them work. They always make have some kind of black color, I think, in between all the different things. So they always affect everything and make everything darker like this. I don't know if that made sense, but it's okay. I'm gonna use it. I don't think this is gonna help. Yeah. That looks more interesting, maybe more appropriate. Yeah, I'm just trying like random shit now. Dots like these could be interesting. It's just that the annoying thing is it really depends on the zoom level of the viewer. Like yeah, like this nonsense. For me, it's doing it right now. For you guys, it might not, because it depends on your pixels and the resolution and this and that. So it is very not necessarily very good. Really, I don't want it to be so trippy. And of course, like the more stuff like these we have, the more dependent we are. Because right now we're not dependent on anything except literally one brush. Actually, it's only one brush so far, and it's kind of cool in that. I don't have to worry too much about replicability, if that's a word. There's a word now. We also don't have soft edges. I think those are like really awesome. Let me see if these brushes are interesting or not. I think noise is probably, yeah, we just do like bare minimum noise. Do I want RGB noise? Did I have RGB noise? Did I make it? I mean, I made it a few times. I don't think I ever saved it. Chromatic aberration. I don't know if I want chromatic aberration on this. I admire this style just because it's so simple. It's just lines and colors. Very cool. What was I gonna do? What did I say I was gonna do? Alright, the stupid brushes. Where is it? I have to go find the brushes. Soft brush texture. What is this? Wait, it's got some interesting noise to it. Huh. Maybe it's good for the gradient. There is a... Wait, where is it actually? Is it this? Is that? Oh, okay, it's not noticeable. Never mind. Never mind. But this does look like it's useful somehow. This has got some texture to it. Maybe it's good for the back or something. It's very hard to control though. It just kind of... Oh. It's one of those brushes where the particle size is... Oh, okay, never mind then. It's one of these brushes. It's like an airbrush. Like what? It's fine, I think. It's not very easy to use. Maybe you could do some kind of noise this way. Noisy. Hi. Doesn't do anything. Must be one of those blending brushes. Color jitter. Yeah. Yeah. Not great. This is the fur blending brush. This one is very it's very interesting, but I don't think it works like this. Does it work? Some of these brushes do require things to be on the same level or something. Oh no, this is just a stem. Never mind. This one, there wasn't just a stem. Oh my god, my screen is still doing this bullshit with the blinking black and white thing. And of course that's her scars, which we've completely ignored because it's only going to make the problem worse. Because scars are fundamentally on this body would just be additional seams, right? And that's just more lines across everything. I don't know how I feel about that. Even the nose and the cheek one might not be doable. I do want to have those around though, at least, because that's like the main... The character's main sort of thing. There's like all of these weird stuff that I never really used. It might be more appropriate now that we're doing for these kind of cute stuff. Actually, I have no idea how to use these. Where are my texture brushes for the noise? Where'd you go? Ah, here. These ones also have this problem where they kind of overlap a lot. Because they are just kind of spraying the textures on. But it means it's very uneven. Hello, Devay. If it's uneven, it's kind of a little bit hard to work with. So I'm lagging so hard right now with this brush, you see. Yeah, it's too uneven. This is too uneven to use. Big chopping. Okay, yes, thank you, Duvet. I'll be right with you after this. This looks like an interesting brush. It's got some textures on it, but nothing so far. This might be one of those things where it's a bit of a luck thing. I think over time, we'll come across artists. Now that we've seen this problem and I'm aware of this problem, I think the next time we see something that can be used, it will kind of click. And then until then, we can just make do with what we have. Duvet's dailies. Yoink. Did I send it here? No, not yet. Oh, this is like Mogoon-esque vibes. For some reason. It feels like it. Maybe it's the color. I think it's mostly the gamut. Whoa, what's going on here? The zoom is so aggressive, holy shit. It is very interesting. It feels... It feels like it's refined, but also there are like these areas that are not. Like this is an interesting way of not like smoothing it out. Like it's kind of... Also, if the chest is being compressed on this side and it's at this position, I feel like this chest should be a little bit further out. Over here. So that there's a difference between the position. Right now it feels like this is also pressed in for some reason. And then like the shadows as well is not... It's just kind of weird, like there's this disconnect between what I feel like I'm expecting. But yeah, it looks like a very sort of... Mogun-esque kind of vibe for me. What am I looking at here? What is this? Is that the butt cheek? Why is it so long here? You have this fabric that kind of comes across. Interesting. Anyways, what was this? Are these photos? Or painted? Logos vinted? Kind of textury, but it also feels like there's painted, like the flowers. Maybe some kind of stamp and then painted afterwards. The back part is definitely stamped. Nothing against that, of course. Water is okay. Yes, George. Yes, dear. Yes, thank you, David. I don't have any like special comments. I think nothing necessarily. I think super stands out. It is a lot of stuff though. Like it's looks like they enjoy art, is what I'll say. Look at that. It's a lot of these very artsy comps, very complex comps, a lot of materials and things going on. Could not, limited by anything. Huh. This is very... Hang on a second. So that's shade and then... This feels like a photo? I think it is. It's too consistent between the two. There are like way more colors all of a sudden in the transitions here. Yeah, I mean, it could be a gradient map, but... And then I saw that these guys are exactly the same with the shapes and the colors inside. Very shiny. Ah, I need more photos in my stuff too. Need more Bogos Vinted. 2025. Anyway, cheers, Duvet. This contour-esque texture I remember we did, like, I think it was like the fourth stream that we ever did or something, where we were trying to deal with the, trying to create this texture, and I saw that there's a way to generate whatever you want in Blender. I want to revisit that. It seems very useful, like that texture. You kind of yeet it in a lot of places. Fundamentally kind of similar though. One's more regular, but the other one... But both of them are kind of represented the same way. Mayhaps. What if I keep this and then for seams we do even more consistent stuff? Let me see. This is definitely a little bit too much, I think. Oh, can't even see it. Actually, no, I did drag it the other way, no? What? How'd this work? Oh, it's thickness, I see. Yeah, it's the gap. We don't have gap. I do have gap. Never mind. Yeah, I don't think this is good. No matter what, this will never look good, I don't think. What if it's selective? Right. Oh, right. I see. God. So hard to type over here. This would be too hard to get evenly done. And fundamentally it's the same thing, just thinner and more dense. So rather than looking like individual strands, you kind of looks like clumps of it, which also doesn't make any sense. During execution of main, we can have even, and then we have I need to start drawing these contours with the accounting for width, I think. Because otherwise we don't have space to put in some of the seams here. Yeah, these areas too. So this, let's say this is even. What if they're all even then? But still irregular. A little bit more sparse, maybe. Still not too visually distinct. What would be the difference, right? How much difference? Yeah, I can't do strands like this because it's not actually strands of hair. It's tricky. Maybe I just overdid it. It is kind of evenly everywhere. What would be the priority here, right? Like, maybe contrast. Yeah, thinner might be the way to go. I can make it slightly stronger. But it is thinner. So it would be different that way. This I don't think can be a multiply layer. I was hoping that multiply can kind of just evenly apply across everything, but it's a little bit harder to control this way, I think. Because like these areas are not going to work properly. Just gonna grab this. Let's drop it back to normal. Yeah, this area doesn't work. Could I have more color on the lines? Yeah, I think the trade-off might be like, you know, we can do less rendering, but the lines might need to be a little bit more carefully done. Might want to section stuff off like this. But then it doesn't really fit that. So yeah. Oh, wow. Is that active? Where is it? Oh, it's overall, right? Oh, it's off right now, right? Okay. So I can kind of do this, right? That's an interesting problem, I think, because if I can't solve it, sorry, like the color balance, if we find it too red or too warm, and I cannot balance with the lines, because again the lines might change too. We're still just testing shit out. Then I might have to deal with it from a character design point of view. We're just throwing something that can actually counteract the red somehow. Magic. Anyways, this will be tentative sequence right now. And then we'll play around with the lines as well. In other iterations, I think at this point... should be fine. What am I lacking here? I think it's just the lines themselves are too clean. We don't have any texture, nor do we have split lines like that. Not hard to add in, I don't think. Oh, I can't do it like this. Oh, shit. Yeah, but not having textures is interesting. No, not you. This is not the right brush. Right, I think... Wait, hang on. This brush is what brush? Is it this brush? At some point in time during the process, I made a new brush. I don't know which one is which. This is this, right? It's kind of similar. I guess too noisy, too quick, maybe. One, two, three evenly spaced. Yeah. execution problems still. Temporary, I guess. Yeah, it could be less even. Could be a little bit more free. I think the fact that these lines here are cutting into the main outline is adding a lot of personality. But as we can also go further by having just less even lines like that. Even like sort of scratches like these that don't make sense physically. Because it is about the personality of the lines, and less so the... this is a little bit too rigid. Mayhaps. How would you do it here though? Is this possible? It's very attention demanding if I do it like that though. Bogo's Binted. Does the subtitle handle Bogo's Binted? Bogo's Binted? Oh, there you go. Dang it. Very pog. Let's see. I'm gonna make some space. Let's do this. So okay. The rain was kind of annoying. Let me have no rain. Evenly distribute thing, and then we have the problem of the scars representation, which inherently are just seams. So two types of seams seems kind of crazy. Originally, I was drawing them like this, but it looks weird. It looks like a patch of something. I don't think I like that. Just have it aggressively painted in like this. Would it be better to use this? Oh, but the spikier the... Oh, but this is kind of... Yeah, crispy too, no? Not much difference there. We definitely can't do everything. I'm gonna render everything just so that I can see what it looks like, but it'll be way too much for sure. Oh, also we don't have a... Oh, shit. We only have 3 fingers here. Where does this... I guess it's right down the middle. So that's fine. This is just too much. I'm gonna hold. And use it as... the problem statement in here, I think. Bogo spinted. Yeah, it wouldn't work very well like this now, would it? Wait, does multiply like this affect... Oh, it does affect the lines too. Interesting. So interesting. Oh my god. Yeah. This is kind of intense. Also, I don't know what this representation means, because if it's on a fabric like this, it would just be no different from a seam. So, to be able to change... Nah, I would say the two are kind of distinct. George, are you hopping up? Is that a waving goodbye or waving hello to Duvet? As a hello. Oh wait, but you have popped off of Discord. I see. Yeah, have a good night, George. Have a good Bogo's Binted. I don't know why it's just popping in my head now. It's not like I'm seeing this for the first time. Bogo's Binted. A good Bogo's Binted to you too. But yeah, Duvet, I don't think so. I don't know how the two connects. In fact, I'm not sure if the two does connect. It might be easier to think of it as like the alternate universe. Because I don't know under what kind of magic system would you be able to freely transform from living tissue, biological tissue, into fabric. Shouldn't necessarily limit ourselves like that, I suppose, but it's also... very interesting. Yeah, either one works. Doesn't really matter. I guess this is cleaner, less noisier. Less noisy. Representation of emotion. Oh, sorry, give me a second. Not really a physical one per se. Oh, interesting. Like like someone else's interpretation of her, or like how she sees herself inside of herself. What? Her own interpretation of herself, or like a repressed piece of herself. Blah blah blah. You know, so on and so forth, right? Etc. Etc. Could be interesting. I have nothing planned for it. I think the whole point right now is to not. I do not know who that is. I'm gonna have to Google that real quick. The whole point kind of is that we don't really think about it and just kind of let things go. Oh, I see. It's just that, so kind of to represent like a change in state of mind and character. Oh, that's interesting. Actually, it is interesting. I'm looking at it right now. That is interesting. That's very interesting, Devik. Thank you. Let me actually. I'm gonna hold on to this because this is very potentially useful, I'd say. The state of being. I think things will become. I'm gonna put this vertical because I'm crazy like that. But then I think the point is that this is gonna be a lightweight style. We don't bog it down with any form of thinking at all, and we just let things run, and then we'll see what happens at the end. That is kind of the plan. I think right now, after doing all the iterations and also collecting all the data and then thinking about all these problems a little bit more logically, I think we have something that is satisfactory. Nothing really changed, I think, compared to before. We haven't made anything that's too groundbreaking, I think. Any discoveries that's too groundbreaking. But at the very least, at least after going through all that, it feels a little bit more acceptable. That is good too. And then it's all about executing, where you just execute ideas after ideas after ideas, and whatever comes, comes. Let me think. Is there anything else? Scars, I think we need a representation. Character design-wise, we may or may not need more colors, but we can delay that till we run into issues of composition. It's like the approach that I have before and now is quite different. Previously, I would like to get everything sorted out before we run with it. But then now I realize that you kind of have to just run with it and see some of these problems in their most natural state of being, like in like the most natural way. Instead of imagining and predicting and try to handle it first, we have to kind of wait for it to happen. Because in that context is where it's best solved, easily solved. And then you take the same solution and then you try to apply it to all the other potential problems that will come, and then modify it as we go along, rather than try to have something ready. Because right now, if I put in a blue ribbon, it could still have issues down the line. At the very least, I can make this thing blue. The scar does have to be solved, but we do kind of want that in there somewhere, somehow. I think. This is too much, right? If we just keep one... just keep the ones on the face. And we also have to suspend belief for a second because I need to ignore the fact that how it's going to actually interact with the fur. If this is actually here. Yeah, this is not going to do the thing very well, but... I could just do that. Or I take out the border and then I just make this. I leave it as is, or I could also make it darker, same as line art. They're all gonna not look very good right now, I think. All of them are gonna have some issues. That's why I'm gonna just put them on the board. And then I'll evaluate everything as a whole. This would be the best way to deal with this. Anything else I need to solve here? I think character design wise, I need to give her a tag. Get rid of this. Move over here. Ogle's Vinted. Scars need to be decided upon. I don't need this nonsense anymore, do I? Yeah, some of these might be nice though, like some amount of texture, but let's not overload this right now then. A tag would be interesting. The original plan was to put it on the tail. But because the tail isn't always... I think the tail is the best part. Like the best part to attach this on. But it's not always visible. And I don't know if the seams come across as like... make sense enough or not. If you have like a patch on the body, for example... Oh, actually that's an interesting idea. But if you have a patch, then it becomes kind of clear that, hey, this is maybe meant to be like a plushy kind of vibe. Because it's just too out of place for like people. But here, I don't know if people might mistake the line as some kind of representation of fur. So if we have like a tag here, as well as on the tail, then we make sure that one of them is always visible. One of them will always be visible. I have to think about it. There's this balance problem, whereas I don't know how balanced it looks, and also if it should be on the left or the right. This year already has enough stuff going on for it. So maybe it's not good to have everything on one side. Do not get your Pogos binted. Yay. Let's move this down. Bring this back online here. Dun, 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 initial runs, initial setup, I think that's fine. Tagging. Oh, there's gonna be instability. Actually, that's fine. I should also just ignore this. This is within expectations as well. That there will be some changes over time. As long as I'm aware that it's a thing and I don't forget that it's a thing. Anything else? Other than the other textures would be some kind of fabric texture, but I don't think we want to bother this more at this point, maybe. Presentation showing colors. Starting to soften the board. Yes, rendering doesn't have any soft edges at this point. Hello, Kirio. Something that's meant to be soft, not having soft edges might be detrimental, but I'm not sure. Secondary is purple. I mean, sure. Where are my eye lines? These ones? Shit, I don't know. This. Is it too distracting? My screen is black, stuff. Oh yes, BB also needs to double check on this idea. Oh, that's the mouth. Oops. Forgot to rename my layers. It's over here. Might be a little bit too saturated at this point, but so I'm gonna wait for the usual. See if it's how I feel about it tomorrow for confirmation, and then in the meantime, okay, this is a JSON sequence. Tagging sequence, yes. Softer edges, fabric texture. I have no more space left for fabric texture. If the fur is meant to be shown, I guess you want to see the checkered stuff. Screen's black, screen's black. Or anything else? Any other bogos that need binting? Let me see. That is too strong. Okay, this is definitely too strong. So the scar comparison is primarily just whether if it's an outline or if it's just a flat shape. A flat shape is probably better. But then the blush also has an outline now. So to balance things out, maybe they should all have outlines like that. Or all not have outlines, maybe. Outlines mean more contrast. More contrast mean a little bit more noisy. So it's either this or double up everything like that, perhaps. Double stack. If I were to choose right now, I would keep it without. So I'm gonna go to this standard and then we're gonna leave it here. I'll check first impression in tomorrow. And then compare against the other ones if I need to. And then we'll see how it goes. So I need to just make sure the colors are not too crazy. on the other monitor. That looks fine. Actually, it looks a little bit less. Maybe like this. Yeah, it is 67-ish. Not intentional, but it is kind of around 65-ish. Six. Scar is not very visible. Scar, interesting. What if I do multiply? Multiply inherently means I need to push this a little bit different. Reset. Brighter. This might be another option. So flat lines, sorry, just lines, flat color, very simple color split like that. Only one gradient around the face for just more focus here. Higher contrast, higher saturation. Everything else is flatly put in and drawn. This should be fairly quick. I'll delay the rendering of the other sketches that I have. We're not really in a rush in that sense. This is gonna take some time, so that's fine. Oops. And since we're doing cute stuff, I think it would be possible to add in some other things around. Like this one has like bones just kind of sitting around. I don't know how it works, but options, right, of course. Or like just random dots and lines. So this is a good example. Design document gradient, yeah, only one gradient at this point, that's fine. Sheets can come way later, that's not really a rush. Initial setup is ready, one. That's fine. Okay, we sit and we wait. And then meanwhile, this render is kind of a pain, yes. This one's kind of like overstay its welcome a little bit because it's getting to the last 20%. And it is difficult to push to the last 20%. And I feel like rather than necessarily push through 100% that we have to do it right now for this, we can also do it later. Or just abandon this and then just move on to the next thing. And just let time sort it out. Oh, that's my reference point. Halftones and textures that we were just talking about, I think we could try that. Where in the... It is here, right? So far down. I don't know, like, what we will use this for. I think it's the biggest problem. If we have examples, we can just copy, but then otherwise... Okay, let me see. So I want to add in... We have a lot of options. We have halftones, we have these weird effects, we have the contour lines that we were just looking at. I also think maybe some textures, brushes in the ground would be nice. It's gotten a little bit too smooth because of the paint overs. Let me do some Bogo spin thing first. Let me see. Where's my big brush? This one? This one. Yeah, don't I have... Wait, hang on. Don't I have something here? Do I have something here? Oh, yeah, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just noise, right? As long as it's going in somehow. Oh, these are kind of solid. Primarily... Oh, chaos? Chaos is kind of chaotic. It's not the kind of noise I want right now. I kind of want these like broken up overlay, like textures like these. But ones like these actually kind of make sense because it's kind of, I guess, rough ground, concrete or whatever. This is asphalt. Whereas these shapes here are just a little bit odd, maybe. Yeah, it's very irregular. Edges are not being held. And Phobos are not vented. What is this? Oh, the legs. Why is it so dark here? What is that? I think it's just remnants of the original stuff. I didn't finish. Shit, I have to repaint this part. Don't have a choice here. Somehow. I don't like this red. Get rid of it for now. Probably a blending brush, okay. Oh, does it take secondary color? Is that what it's doing? Yeah, it does. Oh, this. Ah, these ones. Oh, right, I forgot about this. I could have tried this on the... Could I? The edges are... Yeah. Maybe if I remember next time, it's fine. Not a rush. Maybe if I get my bow, we'll go spend it next time. Here? Here. Yeah, how do I do this over here? Rough texture, no, this one. Right, I have ones with and without the jittering. Textures, right? Textures. What? Oh, wrong guy. I was wondering what's wrong. It says too long or something. Now he looks at Mob Psycho. What? Come and get your Bogo spin together. Ooh, very cool. Works. Not this big. That's a really long arm, right? It's starting to feel a bit like when we start to get more sketching done. Like where sketching became a little bit easier. In the sense that like this is the beginning of the path to just becoming more proficient. Becoming just more comfortable first at the beginning. And then with that comfort comes more. And then with more comes proficiency. Proficiency, I feel like mostly from the sense of having just done enough. Like not necessarily figuring out the rules and this and that, but just being exposed to different situations enough times that you're like, oh, okay, this is looks good last time doing this. Let's just do it again, you know, without necessarily understanding why 100%. And then from there, we maybe not understand it. I guess that wouldn't really matter too much at that point. Not for me, anyways. We just need to be able to do it. What am I even drawing here? What is this thing? Which one is this supposed to be? Come out. The dude's head. Oh, that's a tiny ass dude. Okay, whatever. Shit, how many hours did I put into this? I think it's like 7-ish right now. Not as much as I thought it would take to get here. But also, like, we're gonna need to spend so much more time to go somewhere else. To go somewhere great. It's the crazy part. How the hell does this guy's head work? What? Okay, is this so big? What the fuck am I doing? Okay, whatever, dude. That has a weird head. What? Okay, that cannot be. What? Why does he look so weird? Okay, we can render details forever. What do I want to do? Just more textures, slightly more textures. Let's do some spam. Oh yeah, halftones, right. What was I gonna do with this? Oh, I didn't have to make duplicates. I just needed to use this as a selection layer and that would have been fine. Like that. But to do what though? What do I do with this? What do people do this with? What? Okay. Let's say psychedelic. Intense. Very. And then I want to use it where? This is the same as a glow brush, right? Like an ad brush for glowing. There will be like kind of no difference in that regard. So like wherever I think we might benefit from this, I suppose. I don't know if we can benefit from this. That's one thing I know is that if we're putting shit in like this, I don't want it to be gradually erased like this. It has to be like a hard edge. Maybe like highlight some dude. Maybe like if I put it behind this guy entirely. Like let's say, okay. I'm just gonna knock out half of this for now. And I want to just like have it be behind this guy for whatever reason. So I'm going to highlight this guy out. I need my solid brushes. There's so many unknowns to this. like what I want to do, like if using this thing. I think the size of the dots being like a big deal, the color and the layer mode and all these things are, I do not know. Currently it's just not being very aware of what this can be used for. I mean, it's just a gradient with funny textures. Why not an airbrush, right? Why this over an airbrush? Because it's more interesting like this? Interesting inherently means higher contrast. Inherently means taking attention away. So is it worth it? Could be more distracting. Okay, this part I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Probably wouldn't even get this far, but this guy's pants. I guess everything behind, in front of this guy is also going to get pushed to the front. I should be using a clipping mask, I just realized, because then I can reuse this. Right now I'm gonna have to redo it if I want to change the size of the dots. Didn't think that's true. It's good enough for now, I guess. Yeah, it definitely feels like the dots are too big already. Maybe I should have kept the other half too. We're kind of using this to separate foreground, background, but part of the comp is so that the separation is gradual with the way the colors work. So this seems kind of counterintuitive right now. Also, I see that it forces me to decide where the boundary is sometimes, like these areas that I previously left vague. Because I don't know where the guy's legs are. Sarah's still okay though, not too bad. So don't know where the wheels are. So now what? I guess now I have to gradient it in? Oh my god, what's the point, dude? Is that interesting? I'm gonna leave it because I don't feel it either way. I think it's not really adding anything, but just as an exercise, I want to know that I've tried. That's good enough for me for now. Now the right side feels a little bit unbalanced, although right side is a bit darker. Wow. General adjustments. I think this lady is kind of fighting for attention right now. I don't want to separate her out. A bit away from Ria. I need to put this below and then I would never touch her. Oh, it would. Never mind. I forgot. Now it's even worse, right? Yeah, now it's even worse. Never mind. Ria's render isn't solid enough, or else I'll just put it behind her. I think that would have been fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna take her out of the equation here. It's a little bit strong. So I want to make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, get yeeted. Alright. Yeah, the dot. Other option would just be to force it in ourselves manually here. It would have to be curved, so I'll have to do this with the mass transform, which is kind of a pain. I like that Live 2D. It allows you to change the number of points of like divisions, even after you've made edits and changes to it, because it just remaps the points. Like this one, the Clip Studio doesn't let you do that. So you have to put in all the points that you want first, which means you have to deal with them all from the beginning like this. And it is a pain that you can't just get stuff into the general location first and then be forced to deal with this. Kinda sucks. Oh my god, I swear to god, this thing's so annoying. Every time, man. Wait, can you select points? Oh, you can do that? Can you drag and select? You cannot drag and select. Okay, that's still kind of a pain, yes. But okay, that's better. At least there's an option. I didn't know you have an option even. Okay then. Guess we learn new things. It looked fine. Fine-ish. Good enough, I suppose. Yeah, not enough ones going up and down like that. Yeah, good enough, I think. Definitely clipping mask this time. It is very distorted. Kind of ran out. Oops. That's fine. Oh, no minutes. How does this work? Oh, I see, right, because it's a mask. Ah, okay, that works for me. Ooh, very interesting. What is this? Watercolor edge. Very flat looking, of course, until we go in and actually render each one, which kind of sucks, but I don't think there's a way around it. No BOGO's painting today. Basically everything has like a black half of it. Let's see. It's kind of lame, but that's just how it is, huh? I'm trying to think if there's a way to cheat this, but it is off-centered. Definitely a job for Blender, I think. After this, I think I would like to draw something that is either a little bit more relevant for... Okay, you know what? I do want to move these guys in here. And then the layer effect itself should maybe also be on the folder. My screen's black again. Oh no, sorry. Layer effect I'll do manually, just because it's not as good. Not invert, bro. Expand. That's too big. Yeah, I would like to do something that's either Blender or something that's actually like a little bit more inspiring for me, not like this. Maybe we can try and leverage this workflow for something that's a little bit more original. Exhilarating content. Oh shit. So the plan is to put in the dots first, then do color adjustment afterwards, and then try to put in some texture on top of that. Texture will primarily be some kind of noise or some kind of splatter or scratches, because these are meant to metallic. I know they're like lines, like more horizontal, bigger, longer strokes in there, and not just all dots, but I'm too lazy. Yeah, we could just count the number of dots as we're doing this, since we have to do this anyways. But yeah, I think it's time to touch Blender for stuff like these, and then laying out the scene and doing like fish islands and this and that. Otherwise, it's too much work. Sorry, not too much work. It would just be outright almost impossible, I think. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Never mind, it's just too much work. Ideally, these are consistently done. Which I realized now, hey, is it possible to have like two sets of these? And then we transform them together and then just shift them a little bit? Wait, can I do that now? Wait a second, what? If I just select everything. And then I just moved it. Huh. Broski. Hello. Yellow. Since I'm being lazy anyways, like... What? I could've just done that. Better late than never. Okay. So now the area of the dots that is bright is lowered again. I need to increase the brightness a little bit because right now I can't see shit anywhere. The shinies. And this part needs to be a little bit more muted. So the stuff that we put in needs to be a bit more muted. Same for the outlines themselves. Where's the outline? Ah, shit. Oh no, I need to lock it. But also... I want it to be dark, but not that dark anymore. It needs to be a bit more faded. I mean, it's got the vibe of it, I guess. Then I want to scratch up the tops a little bit. Textures. These guys are do fine, I think. Or do something really bright. Like that. So it's got that sort of like sparkle to it a little bit. Arguable. It's not very good. Underlying needs a bit more variation too, I think. To do anything? This will have to do for now. Don't feel like putting in more effort than this. Oh, right. Forgot about the gradient. Oh yeah, can I generate it? Oh. Trying to see if I can generate the waves that I see in the rec. Hello, show. These waves. Because I just need to make a bunch of lines and distort it. I think there is a distort filter here. I'm not sure. How are you doing, show? I missed the alignment. One of them is slightly thicker, but it's fine. 1 pixel thicker. What am I doing? What am I doing? Doing this is fine, but you should really save it so I don't have to do it again. But I'm not gonna save it, and I would have to do it again. This big brain like that. I'm doing just fine, I think. Pretty decent, I think. Oh shit, look at that. Because it's not strictly straight, it's got some weird effects going on. Ooh. Very trippy. Yeah, we're working on this complex painting kind of vibe-esque thing. And then at the same time also doing development for something that's a little bit cuter on this side. Figuring out the stylization for lines and representation and some of the things, and I'm currently just letting this sit. And then if it works, we can use it to I don't like this multiply effect anymore. I need to think about it, but if it works, I can use this to do sketches for myself and just chill without having to overwhelm myself with this kind of stuff all the time. Let me try and distort this. Geometric distortion? Can I make it more funky? Ripple? Oh, wait, we just need to do multiple of them. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Number of waves? What does that mean? Don't know what that means. Wave length minimum, maximum. Oh, okay, I see. Just make it super wonky. Magnitude is the one that I need a lot. Oh, minimum, sorry. Minimum, maximum. Horizontal ratio, vertical ratio. What's the difference? What? I don't know what that means, but okay. Sine wave, triangular. Triangular is too sharp, I think. Rectangular is just a glitch. Oh, I didn't know you can do this. That's pretty good, actually. Can you not use this for like a glitch effect? It's just auto-gen. You take what you have, you duplicate it, you do this, and then, you know, change some setting, make it look good. Then only keep some parts of it. I think that would look pretty good. We can try that later. Also, I realized that this might have been a little bit too thin. It's okay, we'll figure it out. Okay, so what do I do with this now? Oh, shit, hang on. I should keep the original. Where is it? We have one copy of the one that's distorted. We have the original, so we can do it again in some other way. I'm gonna transform this into... Oh, I see what they have done, but we don't quite have that. So I think what's gonna happen is I need transform with mesh. Mesh. And then we're gonna lower the number of points because I don't need this many. We do need the curve to be kind of smooth, I guess, but let's just try it with this and see how it goes first. I want some parts to be big. Other parts to be smaller. Screen. Right. Now it is, I suppose, kind of interesting. Do not kill my computer, thank you. What layer mode are we using here? Oh, I need to change colors first, probably. Let's use pure white here. See what we can do with this. Lower opacity a bit. What is the original using, actually? What is this? Wait, like 20% opacity on overlay or something? What is this? 20% on overlay? Let me try it. Something with more color. Whoa, it's kind of trippy now. Yeah, it's kind of trippy. Oh shit. Whoa. Let me see if I can distort it again. And how much it's gonna mess us up. Oh, I need to not lock the layer. Hang on, I need to unlock the layer. Render, no, distort, WAV. Oh yeah, like look at that, look at that. We're getting this kind of vibes. Which we are, yeah, kind of seeing. Oh, wait. Was that an illusion? Holy shit, what? Oh, that's an illusion on my own monitor. What? But yeah, anyways, we're getting interesting circles. Yeah, like this. Circle. Oh my god, it's a circle. Okay. This is the way. We don't need Blender. What the hell is Blender, dude? We don't need Blender. Okay, yeah, the colors are not loaded everywhere, but say I do this. I make sure it covers the entire screen first. I do this. Oh, sorry. Need to lock layer. I do this. And then they did this like triangular cut kind of thing, like geometric kind of shape kind of thing. I found that we had like a brush that does that. Wait. It's gotten to the point where I'm finding shit in my own clip studio that I've gotten years ago, and I just like, oh shit, it can kind of work here, huh? Where is it? This is like halftones, right? Oh, that's kind of interesting too, potentially. 3D paint texture? What the hell does that mean? Canvas texture? Paint air painter. Where is it? Ah, now I lost it again. Great. Of course I lost it again. I swear to God. What is this brush? Where is it? It's huge. Oh, it's a prism effect, right? Oh, man. Oh. Shit. I think it's here somewhere, no? These are like flowers and like more very Japanese texture pack. This is like a very Japanese texture pack. Like the old traditional Japanese kind of patterns. That you kind of see. Oh, this is the one. It does this weird like triangular cut thing. If I make it big enough, which I don't know if I can actually. This looks like it's the limit. Can I change this number manually? I can't remember. Can I do 10,000? Does not work. But I guess we have to do it manually if we want to do it like that. So this feels like you're on acid, right? You're like tripping. This feels like, yeah. Now you're tripping balls. And then if you do chromatic aberration on top, which I realized the other day, that you can also just do a quick effect for it. Now all of a sudden we are tripping balls. Oh wait, hang on. I think this is better. Put it on her face. We trip balls. And then we we destroy. Hang on. No, no, stop. Holy shit. Wait, hang on. No vertical. Only horizontal. Or maybe a little bit. No, none of that. What does wavelength do? Oh. What? Okay, reduce number of waves. Just a few more waves. Wavelength. Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to look at. Can find like the most optimal size for it. Amplitude, we'll just do not too much because we want it to be somewhat close. I'm looking at her eyes to do alignment here. Maybe not even that much. Yeah, just like a little bit, right? Just a little bit glitchy like that. If it's like this, we can afford to have a little bit more cuts, maybe. Maybe? What? Oh, I see. The more waves you have, the closer they start getting to the original, because it's basically just... You can regenerate. Oh, shit. This is kind of cool. Horizontal ratio. I don't know what that means. How much it does it? Isn't that what the amplitude is for? Or maybe like a wider range, more waves. What? Anyways, what do I do with this now? How did we get more cuts just now? Can I get more cuts just now? More waves, right? That's what it means. And then I guess just a wider disparity between the two, we can get more. Increase max. You can kind of see that it's following some kind of curve like this, so it's not as good because glitch kind of alternates kind of left and right in each cut. If you know what I'm saying, like this is like kind of all going in the same direction, which is not great. I think we can maybe keep this and then regenerate another one in a different direction and somehow alternate showing it. It's kind of a pain in the ass, honestly. I feel like it's more work than it's worth. Because in general, I think you would just duplicate this, select a section and just kind of shift it. Like this would be enough, but like that's no need for me to go to that extent. As long as we keep a layer underneath, then it wouldn't break and show white spots like that. I say no need to use that wave thing, even though it's kind of cool. Could have worked. It's got to shift enough that it actually is visible here. And I guess we can stack vertical stuff as well. We can also do stuff like that. Now vertical is a bit maybe not verticals. Oh, this is not good because it brings up this piece here. I just want shapes to extend, or because otherwise it gets too noisy. Oh, whoops. Do not scale it. Thank you. Oh, I need something that goes in there. What if I... Wait, what if I chromatic aberration again, dude? No way, dude. Okay, it doesn't work. I need something more static, yeah. More lateral like that. Is that no vertical? Oh. Just do that. Now you're vertical. Wait, no, hang on. 180? It is vertical. Okay, never mind. It's too strong. Yeah, I guess this is not great because it affects everything at once. I want to just have it on the glitch, right? Which is only on this layer. So I could quick effect onto current layer, chromatic aberration on this, and then we can do high strength because I want... but then how would I show... How would I show just the parts here? Is there any layer mode that will work? Epilepsy warning, holy shit. Lighter color. Lighter color? But that is very specific. And maybe in some certain circumstances it works. Color... Oh, it forces the saturation to change in the borders. Brightness as well. So I realized I forgot to paint her eyes, but it's fine. It's a practice piece anyways. Probably better not to take it so seriously. Also, I'm having funny ideas with this. Hang on, I'm gonna hold on to this. And see if I can use it somehow. Holy shit, volume. It's like bagpipes or something. Crazy, crazy. Anyways, Ooh. Yeah, this is just too dark. I wonder, can I convert brightness to opacity? No, I need to invert it. Let's invert it. Brightness to opacity. Go back to normal. This needs to get off subtract. Actually, this doesn't need to exist anywhere. Wait, that I might have done it wrong. Hang on. What if I just did it here? No, but this means that it's affecting the more areas, right, than less areas, right? Okay, I have that turned off. I do want to invert this. So the brighter it is, the more opaque it is. So those guys' pixels are gone. I only have control over these guys. I can invert them back. And then do some funky stuff with this. But it's only black and white now, right? So it doesn't really... But it becomes a selection mask for this. So what if I use that as a selection mask? And only take out the glitch parts. Anyways, this is getting very confusing. There's like 10,000 steps in this. It's like 10,000 steps in this, but it is kind of interesting because you through all the binary option, like working, like the logic and all this, you can kind of just grab some stuff that you want and leave the other stuff out. And maybe that is like a way to create something fancy. I'm not sure. What if I use the whole thing on the original? Shit. I'm like drunk or something. Holy shit, what is this? The thing about like this is that you will probably get something interesting, but it's also almost guaranteed that you don't have to go through this entire nonsense to get there, if you know that's what you want. I think it's maybe good for exploration into ideas that you might not already have. But once you have that idea, once you do this once, I don't think we should necessarily replicate this crazy workflow just to get back to the same spot, if that's what you wanted. Surely there's a faster way, a more efficient way, if you have the idea. You just paint, you know, you could just paint some of the stuff. Have the colors be in the correct level in the first place. But regardless, I think... I forgot what I did. I kind of messed the shit up. I don't know what's what now. What is this? That's the stuff I cut out before, right? What is this? That's a glitch thing. What if I overlay the glitch thing over this? Like, what happens? crazy shit happens, that's what. Doesn't really look very good no matter what. So. Could just be because it's a bit too strong, but if it were a little bit, then it might have been fine. This is at the level of distortion that is like when I look at other people's art that has a lot of stuff like this, it just becomes impossible to break it down into layers mentally. This one maybe is still okay. I mean, I did it. I did it myself, so I kind of know what's happening, but it doesn't count. But yeah, this is interesting. I think... Oh, right, because it's oh, shit. I forgot that it just kind of moves everything up top and bring it back down. So, junk in there. Sorry, where are we? What the hell is this? Oh, right. Right, I forgot. Okay, this should have been higher. Okay, it's whatever. This is not really meant to be like this either way. Oh, it's too big, okay. I'm just only keeping the part that I need, because otherwise it's gonna be too slow. The thing I wanted to try was what they did, kind of, where you have areas that has this effect and other areas that do not. And that is what creates the visual interest, not the crazy nonsense that we were doing. Sure. Kind of works. Maybe kind of works. Maybe I shift one of them to a different hue. I can't shift too much though, it looks like. Kind of breaks things. Can even be behind her, I think. Oh, right, I forgot that. My stupid layering problem. I mean, I can just go over. If I merge other layers below, I go over it, select just her area, and then put it underneath this. It would have been fine. Or I could just erase it, I guess. Flipping mask. Even faster. Not reusable, but... Oh, yeah, it is reusable. Never mind. I guess it feels like we need one more. Wait, what? Oh, it's already below. Oh, no, these are the areas that were painted. I see. That makes sense. That's fine. Very cool. I guess we can shift it a little the other way. I mean, if it's gonna be like that. Oh, it goes under the thing. Right, if it's already doing that, I'm just gonna shift it on top. And now manually fix this one. That's fine. Could also just select on the paint over layer and erase it that way. That also would have worked just fine. So these are some of the things that is a little bit difficult to do, because you can see how it changes the perception of the back. So if your original sort of composition and color rough did not really include this idea, and then you put it in at the end, there's a good chance that it would change something. Which I guess is fine, but you have to like maybe change it back or something. Because at the end of like the painting, changing things would be kind of hard. So ideally these things are accounted for already. But also like how viable is it to really account for stuff like this, you know? But yeah, I think it's just... I'm gonna keep a copy of this before I lose it. What is the idea of the piece, right? It gets pretty crazy. Can I apply chromatic on just this? Okay, I'm really enjoying this auto chromatic because like this allows me to make RGB noise if I want to. Clip Studio doesn't have a default RGB noise. Wait, actually speaking of noise. Render curtain. Up the amp. Crispy. And then we can RGB it. You have to be a little bit less intense. No, it doesn't matter. Can't do shit like this. Oh, what's happening here, dude? I didn't do this, did I? Why is this so messed up? I don't know if I like that. It is interesting. I don't know if I like that. Oh, I know why it's so messed up. It's the brush that I used. It was anti-alias off. Yeah, anti-aliasing is off. You guys can see it. The reference is board is blocking it. I guess I don't need this anymore. Anti-aliasing is off. So with all the wave effect distorting it, it kind of amplified the jagged edges, and that's why it ended up like that. I don't know how I feel about this, by the way. Like this, it's very artsy and this and that, but you kind of lose track of everything else, which I think is important for composition, even if I want to be crazy about it. But I don't know. It's interesting. I give it that, but without like an idea behind it, it's hard to judge whether if it's a good thing or a bad thing with what we have, you know. Visually interesting is one thing, but whether if it conveys the right message, which because we don't have one, it's impossible. Yeah, this part's kind of a mess too. Hog, I guess, kind of. Yeah, the lines are also interesting. This one has a problem with width, I think. Right now it feels a little thin. Yeah. If I'm gonna put it, it should be a little bit more bold. Otherwise, there's no point. What layer is it even on? Is it this one? Oh, it is this one. Oh, then. Don't mind if I do. Get in there. Get in there. And we haven't tried to pull like long clean lines in a long time, I think. They've been embracing like the messy lines, which is nice. This side is like decisively more colorful than the right side of the board. I think we need to balance it out a bit. I think nothing here almost. I'll get it too dark here. Yeah, I don't know what the lines are for, but I guess we can use it to separate like shapes like these that would have otherwise been merged together. But I don't know how. Do I go all the way down, dude? You know, like once you start this, like kind of like. I suppose, like, why not, right? Like, I suppose that works. Like this lady's like arm and lady's arm. This dude's arm and this lady is kind of merged and gone. I can just do this maybe. Try to have the same color a little bit more often. At least in the same region, so that it doesn't feel too out of place, I think. Just one thing, it feels out of place. Like a few more times, it feels like, okay, this guy intended for that to happen. Nice guys. This part is not very clean. I didn't clean it up, but it's fine. Yeah, no, this part is meant to melt away, I think. Ria's head should maybe not be this color, but I don't know what color suits her. Because unless we go very dark, it's kind of hard to see. Like, I don't like red on her. Anyways, we keep and we wait. See if it. Yeah, the line seems like we should just commit. Like, full commit there, like areas that we can put somewhere. I might be wrong, but I think there's an artist in mind that does do this, right? Let me check. What's their name again? Somehow I feel like in the back of my head that this is the case, but I don't think it... Oh, my screen's black again. Oh, okay, here. Right, yeah, they do kind of do that. Although it is it's very graphic in the first place. And it's not even connected, so it's like a slightly different thing. And I guess like edges like these, they're just separating with values, not necessarily lines. Lines are valued, blah blah blah. But yeah, the buildings are not being drawn, like nothing on the buildings. Character is just being duplicated, like the silhouette. Okay, what about the Terminators? I think Terminators are just yeah, it's a select tool or like a layer property effect thing. Do I have Terminators? I didn't even render actually. Yeah, I barely rendered the actual shapes. I always wanted to do something like this, I think, in the past. This is like the very concept art kind of S thing, right? Where you photo bash. Your actual painting is mostly just holding values in place. It would be nice to sort of get close to this kind of effect with just brushes and not necessarily like big photos. Like I'm sure like a lot of the brushes I use would have some photos in them for like maybe the walls or like the windows or this and that. But I don't want to have a workflow where you're manipulating like stuff into perspective all the time. But I don't think it's avoidable. I guess the alternative would be Blender. Blender's problem would be it being too clean, but it's never, you know, it's much less of a problem to mess it up. We can just do that. I don't have to manipulate stuff into. Oh, I get the infinitely worse version of putting stuff, of modeling blocks and putting the camera and this and that. Arguably worse, perhaps. It is slower for sure, though. Blender. That's why they work with photos in the past, but now I guess with more prefabs, maybe it's easier to go for this, and then you can reuse it. Terminator, random colors, yeah. A lot of random textures. Like even the table, dude. Come on. Oh my god, the color jitter. I remember like signing up for their Patreon or something and then getting all the files and then not knowing what to do with it because it's just way too difficult for me. It didn't make sense. Now it makes sense. Not only does it make sense, I think some of like these choices of like, you know, like the circle here is not fully circular. This part is also kind of weird if it's like a like round table that has like a straight edge. Maybe it doesn't have a straight edge, but most likely it does. It's just does not matter that much, right? The idea is there. Omi would not have accepted this. I would have cleaned that up, but it's like not a point, not important. No, this is interesting. Value transformation. Initial layout into the thing. Anyways, I guess it's kind of it for the other one. I mean, I don't know what else I can do to it. We could have bigger, like clearer and more confident like textures and brushstrokes left in there. Apparently it's not very clear, especially, okay. You know, maybe it's not very doable. Once all this effect goes in, it's kind of already kicking out my brushstrokes. It's kind of gone. The only thing that we can really add might be some text. Kind of like how the original reference, which I already closed, has some text. That's the only thing I can think of. Text. What about? Oh, hang on. What does Min do? Because Min has those crazy comps. Maybe I can get some ideas. I don't have some ideas. Okay, golden ratio. Yes, thank you. Oh, shapes that have their own sort of outlines in the front. That depends on the theme. Right? I don't have a theme. I don't have an idea. Photo bashing in textures like this, we don't have the space for it. Maybe in the back. Maybe over here. The ground, I was thinking maybe you can like flipping mask that out and do something with it. Kind of like what they're doing here, right? Where you kind of just go into a different dimension. The ground isn't necessarily ground, it's just a different dimension. Like, yeah, like the hand here is the perfect example. You use it as a clipping mask and then you do funny things with it, but yeah, the purple. Oh, look at the lines. Wait, they have lines on the purple lines. What I am curious about is how committed they are. So it is like a full outline, I think. It is kind of like a full outline. So if we do like a full outline, it might be better than something like this. It does look a little bit unnatural stop like this. This part here. Then Ria would actually maybe benefit without, like, by not having any at all. Because then, in comparison, everybody else has weird stuff. She doesn't, I guess it would. But it emphasizes by having it. Birds flying. Oh, that's a lot of water texture. Big gradient, big setup with the contrast. Oh, I guess... No, it's fine. She stands out way more than, like, it's enough. We don't have to do it with values, right? Hue is just fine. Hue is just fine. Anything else? These are, like, more tame in general because they're consistent in the physical reality that it exists in. Nothing too crazy. Particles? The particles and... the gradient doesn't work too much here. We already set that up. We don't need any more gradients here. Can we benefit from, say, let's try this. Overlay. We do need a checklist at some point, but maybe some other day. It's too red though, right? She's kind of red enough. It would be nice to kind of pull her values together, like over here a bit. Maybe? So it seems kind of unnecessary. Overlay is one thing, hard light is another. Hard light is a bit stronger. Even just normal. Oh, normal, never mind, no normal. What else can we have? Particles. It's pretty noisy already. And also with like geometric patterns like this, I feel like particles... Random particles, or rather round particles, might not be as good as, say, something that's more spiky. Like big triangles, small triangles, that kind of stuff. Also, this is bad particle, hang on. Sorry, this is airbrush. Oh, okay, no wonder. Let's not mess with the airbrush one. I have like a bajillion other things. Yeah, again, with no theme, it's really hard to judge whether if it's a good idea or not. This feels like an objectively bad idea. But it's probably just because I don't have a theme on it. Yeah, this one is... What? This one is meant to be used as an overlay, I think, was it? No. Then it would be glow dodge or some kind of dodge, yeah. It's not as easy to use because it is just I believe, a pattern that is stamping. It's not like particles where it's generating like randomly. Yeah, it really doesn't fit the theme because it's too psychedelic. It's way too many shades. We only have red and cyan over here. Seeing stuff like yellow and other things is a bit not good. Can I have more? Dang it, dude. Heart noise as well, yeah. So, heart noise. But like, why? They're like, well, what does it offer? You know, I don't know what it's offering. In general, particle always kind of feels like it adds this final, like, very nice polish to things, just because they're like tiny, solid, hard-edged details. And once those details exist, anything that's really blurred, all of a sudden feels like it's intentional. It doesn't feel like it's something that you just haven't finished. It just feels like it's meant to be there. Meant to be rough, meant to be smooth-edged, or something like that. And because of that, it brings up the quality. That's how I perceive it. It's just that in this case, it really doesn't feel like it seem like it fits. You know, why is it so sparkly? Like, okay, so this one is interesting, right? I feel like, for example, if it's sparkly like this, but it's not just sparkly on everywhere, but like rather... Oh, shit. Just the ground, like, for example. Where we take out everything else. Then all of a sudden the ground has some texture. I guess that means the ground has some texture. So we are talking about just texture on the ground, and there's nothing necessarily. It's just using the noise, yeah. So I'm like I said, two different ideas is the sort of big changes across the entire board, across the entire canvas. or just like specifics of like a specific part, a material of the canvas. Slightly different ideas, I guess. Not to say that we can't edit now, but I guess it is not what we were trying to achieve. Although it does look thematically, what is the theme though? That's so stupid. We want to focus here, right? Why would I do this? You know, we've got noise already. Too much shit would just make it look like we are just putting shit for the sake of putting shit, which is kind of what we're doing. Just because this is a practice kind of thing, but... What does this do? More sparkles. Oh my god, that's too big. Oh, but it could be used to add in some sort of attention drawing kind of thing. Maybe not like that. Yeah, only on areas that it's already kind of noisy. Yeah, why would I put it anywhere else except just around her, right? It would... Only place that is justified to have some more. Yeah, this is too strong. Yum yum yum. Yeah, that's... And then other than that, it would just be like writing text. Lol. I won't be able to evaluate this properly until like a few months later, I'm sure. Currently, it's too fresh in my head. I need to approach this from like a stranger point of view. I think what is interesting about this piece is that there's barely any rendering, like actual rendering of form. Everything is kind of flat. The hair is kind of flat. The shirt is... It has some stuff. This collar is kind of flat. Everything else is kind of gone. There's only some renders here and there. But very, very minor. But yet it still possibly could be... What's the word? Maybe quote-unquote polished enough. It's definitely nowhere near like those Arcanized levels. But as a whole, by itself, it still kind of stands decently well. I think it's just because of the sheer number of things happening. But it would be nice to get like a more objective view on that down the line. In the meantime, we will just move on and then like keep using this process for other stuff. Oh, this is not a good brush for writing, right? It doesn't have any interesting features to it. This one would be... What can I even do with this? Whoa. Yeah, the noise stacking on top of noise is getting kind of insane. Yeah, I don't know what else we can do to lines. Wait. Oh, why is it always... Oh, because I need to be even dark. Ah, okay, so low dodge will not be good for this. Yeah, I think we can call this a wrap. We added some effects. I did the floor thingy by hand, that's fine. It looks kind of okay at this distance, that's fine. Added some more lines. Some more textures. Overall adjustments would be like one thing that we haven't really thought about, but like I mentioned before, I think unless it's specifically for adding like psychedelic shit like this, If it's meant to adjust value and stuff, it should have been done earlier already. Before we started rendering. I'm gonna try this. This is probably too much just because there's already too much noise. This might have been an interesting step a little bit earlier in the process. Before things started getting stacked on. Okay, this is too crispy. It looks a little better on my tablet screen for some reason. Oh wow, okay, look at that. Deep fried meme right here. Oh no, this is the deep fried meme. Oh. Inversion. Divide. Anyways, usually this is on soft light with like 10% for some more colors in here. Is it perceivable? I don't think it is. It's like barely any change. I think it's because why is it? Maybe 11% is just too little. Actually, what does it look like 100? Huh. It's not what I'm expecting. I usually get a lot more colors than this, but I guess it's gone for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Because the way I understand it is not really affected. I guess I mean, it must be affected by the underlying colors looking at this. Gradient map at this stage is just like trolling. Like, what's the point? Because these changes should have been done way earlier. We could have just a little bit, but even then, yeah. It's that problem of like, if you can see the effect, then it means it has changed it enough, right? If it's changed it that much, then you should have just fixed that first before committing. Not to say that you can't change your mind, though. I mean, halfway through. Subtract. I'm guessing this goes... Okay, it goes negative. Okay. Yeah, nothing too special. Reverse gradient. What's reverse gradient? I just inverse it. I see. So I think what, this on subtract is just 0? Oh no, it's not. Is it on divide then? No, it's not either. Huh. I don't know how that works. Delete, delete, delete. Color balance. This is a I changed my mind kind of thing, but this is not gonna fly. Okay, I think we're done here. I'll just sit on this for a little bit, and then tomorrow I can post it because I'm not in a rush. Why is there like a red trope here? What is that? I think that's just a effect of... Yeah, I think I painted something red there. That's fine. I didn't really fix her eyes. I could paint over this right now, though. But yeah, this is kind of it for me for tonight. I think it's kind of interesting. We're making possible progress. It's kind of hard to tell right now. We have to see and wait for things to come back. But either way, we're trying new things. That's pretty good. Same thing on this end too. So, long time ago I talked about this, but we're pushing it from two fronts, kind of. One from the painterly kind of view, where you kind of go for crazy colors and complex workflows and this and that. And then on the other side, we're like trying to simplify to the extreme. And then somewhere in the middle, hopefully we'll meet. Or we can also keep it separate like that, that's fine too. But just trying different things so that we can capture as much as we can. So this is the progress. There is a black and white one here somewhere, but I didn't use it for the thumbnails. But you can kind of see the cleanup over time. Nothing really feel like it's changing. Like this still has some significant changes. Here, if you hear barely any changes. What did it even do today? I think it is actually just the it's like a guard. The two guards in the back got tidied up a little bit, but it's just the ground thingy and then all the effects. This is really strong. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off here for today. 394. Almost approaching 400. We're almost gonna cross my Maple Story streak of 404 or something. 404 consecutive days. Although that one is actually truly consecutive. But regardless, putting in the hours. Thanks for coming. Have a good night. Goodbye.